Hi, hello everybody, and we are back for episode 18 of the Misfortune. Some housekeeping, as I normally don't do, but I want to mention that in my last video, with this new area that I'm currently set up in, using the magic of green screening, um, I've noticed that in the audio, the fireplace that I do not own was a little too loud, so I hopefully I lowered it a bit, and hopefully that does help. And then let me show you the notes where we left off on the screen. So I removed the question I had for this episode where it was we were going to see how much longer until the next location. After realizing that I wasn't really a fan of the question. So we kind of want to leave it up to suspense and just the whole random acts of things. But the big question I do want to keep is where are the Kingsmen 3 and how far up north have they gone? Have they encountered any issues? Have they lost anybody? Did they drop anything? Did they have any encounters? Are they camping out somewhere? The Kings of Three, I feel, pretty are going to be a big group of characters that we're going to be seeing sometime soon. And as you remember, we just dealt with some ice elementals, and we fared pretty well. Mainly against the second one because the first one fled. The second one was the bigger brother, so we defeated that one, killed it, and now we are making our way up for even further up north. So, and also the other big question I should write down is: will we find the village that all the Northerners came from? Was presumably destroyed by the volcanic ash. So that is the other question I probably should have thought of before. Now, one thing I've been debating for a few days now, since I did that video regarding the online solo page engine, one page solo engine mechanic, I have that here. And what I want to do is just roll to see if we will use it or not. And what I'm going to do is just use 2d6. One's red, one blue. Red is no, blue is yes. And if blue's higher, we'll use it. If not, we'll stick with the conventional rolling with the one-page mythic because the one-page solo engine has its own Oracle system that doesn't use dice, but uses the randomizer built into the app. So let's see what happens. 2 to 6. 6 no, 2 yes. So we are not using the one-page engine, or the one-page solo engine. We'll be sticking with uh, our current Oracle from before. So I'm going to close that down. I was kind of hoping to, but I'm going based on the roll. So we left off. We will let's go to our notes. We find the village. Our character. Let's roll to see. Let's set the scene up. See what we're going to encounter. See how our thing's going to start with our first step on this episode 18. I'm going to roll a D100 as usual. And we have 53. 53 goals and loud. So goals was the action, but I think loud is more appropriate, the descriptor. So something loud. I think we hear a scream. So I'm going to say that we hear a scream. Or I, Bregor, heard a scream. So, and I'm also going to try to shorten my notes a bit. Heard a scream. Now, is this scream going to be coming from the distance? I'm going to assume it is. So, do we hear a scream further up? That's not exactly in our peripheral vision. So let's say very likely it's coming from further up. So very likely 17, which is a very strong yes. So the scream we hear is coming from further up the hill. And being the thief adventurer we are apparently, as I've been very out of character this entire campaign, uh, we, well, we're going to rush to see what that was. So, uh, Scream was up ahead, and I run up the hill with my weapon drawn to check. So, weapon drawn, I'm running up the hill because I now let's roll to see if I can see. Do I visually see where that scream? Who is screaming? Let's say very unlikely. I'm thinking the hill is blocking our view from seeing who is screaming. But very unlikely roll. 88. That is a exceptional no. So, however, with exceptional no, there is a setback. The answer is a no, but beyond your expectations. So it's even worse. So exceptional no. I don't see who is screaming, and we have to include something that's beyond our expectations. I'm going to say that um, the scream is beyond our expectations. Originally, we thought it was one scream, but it's actually two screams. We now are hearing two audible screams, but now there's two audible screams. And while we're running, can we tell if it's a female scream or if it's a male scream? Now, let's keep this 50-50. Is it going to be a female scream? The first scream, I should say. 50, I'm actually right on 50. And that is a very so here's how I see it. It's a woman, it's a because it was right in the middle, it's a man and a woman. So we hear the screams of a man and a woman screaming. And because of that, let's roll to see, just as we're about to get to the top of the hill, I'm thinking that this whatever's happening is beyond the hill, and perhaps there's a little slope down. Let's roll to see what is causing the scream, or what can we expect. 94. There is a stop. It stops us. I believe, when we get to the very top, we stop because it's not exactly what we expected. So I reach the top of the hill and suddenly stop. It causes me to stop. Whatever I'm looking at right now, is it something that we don't? Let me roll for description of what we're looking at. 21. Dirty. That does make sense actually. Dirty conflict. So conflict was the action. Dirty was the description. So it's a dirty conflict. I want to say I'm thinking a trap. I'm thinking like a what do you call those? Like a ground. The ground is open, covered with bushes. It's trap, perhaps, but that would be kind of strange, unusual to be on a major trail such as where we are now, up in the mountains. So I don't think it's a conventional like a trap in a forest where it's like one where you get caught by a net and pulled up. It could be that. I'm thinking that's actually possible. Not the covered ground with branches, but like a hole, but more of like a net. That makes more sense. So we suddenly stop because, oh, you know why? We see a couple, we see some travelers, northerners, that were just perhaps late or traveling from further up north. They could be travelers. We don't know. Let's just leave that there. We see a couple. I see two people caught in a trapped net. So I see a couple trapped in a caught net. Caught in a net, basically. Trapped in a net. Hanging. So they're basically just kind of hanging from a large tree, like a large trunk on the side of a cliff, like a makeshift trap. And but what causes me to stop, I don't think it's actually the trap itself, but it's what's going on around them. The conflict was the interesting thing. I believe they're getting mugged right now by possibly a couple of bandits to set this up, or a bandit. Let me roll to see what it could be. 16. Communication. I think it is a bandit. It's going to be it could be a bandit. Is it human? Let's figure this out. Is it human? I'd say very likely. 52. It's a human, and because it's a kind of a middle low, yes, it's a very bad person, obviously. I think it's a thief. Oh, that actually might be good. It's a thief. So, not necessarily a bandit, but a thief. A thief is trying to rob, mug, could be a mugger, is trying to mug the trapped couple. Now, the thief does it see a thief see us? I'm guessing maybe his back is turned to us. So, very unlikely. Does a thief see us? 23. Very unlikely. That is a weak guess. So, the thief back is turned to us, doesn't see us. Now, the couple, let's get some details on them. Let's roll to see what they look like. Can we tell what they look like? 31. Fragrant. Ooh, fragrant. That doesn't, I think, as usual, just a quick little definition search. Fragrant. You know, people probably something that smells nice. People who look of royalty. I want to say it's a family of, it's a noble, it's a couple. It's a rich, wealthy family, or a wealthy couple. No kids per se, but just a wealthy couple. So, the trapped couple appeared to be wealthy. Maybe that's why they were trapped. Um, Maybe this mugger just set this trap up pretty quick, was waiting because of all the travelers. Maybe the mugger lives nearby in a cabin somewhere and just kind of decided to go out and mug someone. So uh, I'm going to say that because the thief doesn't see us, does the couple see us? Do they acknowledge us? Let's roll based on action. I'm going to say 41. The environment. They're the environment. They're too busy just looking around, panicking what's happening. So the couple appears to be panicking, looking around, like just frightened. And the mugger, the thief, he's holding a dagger, trying to like threaten them, basically saying, give me all your gold, give me all your gold," kind of stuff like that. It's trying to taunt them, asking for gold, etc., stuff like that. So this makes total sense. And we are just over the hill, and we're standing there. So we have a couple options here. Here's the thing about my character. We were a thief in the very, very beginning of the story, the first episode of Misfortune, and 18 episodes later, which I didn't really think this would go on this long, but again, it is a long quest, long campaign. We were caught, we were arrested, so perhaps we had a change of heart. That's kind of makes sense for this whole idea that not only are we strict on following the main quest, which one flaw I thought about my current storyline is that why are we even bothering? Because the tracker isn't tracking us anymore. However, maybe they'll find us and kill me, regular. So I think we are in that sense of helping people. Maybe our character regular has turned over a new leaf, and he realizes that once he takes care of this debt he has to pay with the misfits because they helped the family, and you know they helped him escape, which he is a wanted fugitive at that point, but apparently that hasn't really bit us in the ass since then. Those guards were killed, unfortunately. They were killed by the misfits, and we were ID'd by one individual in the bank based on our backstory, if I recall correctly. But that didn't really. Perhaps that individual is just in the history books at this point. We can always touch on that later, but I think for now we're in the clear as far as our reputation goes. But we used to be a thief, and maybe our reputation was more bound to our home village of Terran. So outside of there, we're nobody. We're absolutely nobody. So I think regular sees us as an opportunity to help people or to try to be a neutral or slash good person. So what in his mindset right now, in my mindset, I'm thinking I should help these people. So with the mugger, taunting them with probably a broken makeshift dagger or like a just a something sharp. Um, because we rolled dirty earlier, I think this guy is an amateur. Even though he has a trap that's net that caught a couple of very curious nobles or nobles. I think it's in our best heart to help. this family out. So they're captured. Enough of the exposition there. Sorry about that. Let's go and let's get moving here. I'm gonna roll to see what we should do. So he's busy taunting them, and we have a chance to act quickly. Now, because this is a thief, and we've only operated out of the village of Terran, we haven't exactly made ourselves known. I don't think we know this guy. We can perhaps roll to see if we do. Do we recognize this thief from behind, which might be a little difficult? I'm gonna say nearly impossible. We recognize this guy. Nearly possible. Imagine if we actually do. 8. Oh my gosh, that is a yes. That is a middle, nearly impossible. You have to get 15 or lower for a yes. We know this guy for some reason, so I think um, I recognize the thief. Which this is huge. This is a very of interesting twist. And now, do I recognize? Let's roll to see how I know him. I'm going to say description, or we'll roll and see if action or description is it either or. Peaceful. Maybe we knew this person a long time ago before they pursued this kind of venture. This person probably has a very distinguished mark or like a tattoo, perhaps, something we recognize like on the back of their neck. So we reckon I see a familiar tattoo on the back of their neck, and it's a let's see what the tattoo is. 30. So deceit. Maybe it's a deceitful or feeble. We'll roll again because it's kind of helps me. 75. Powerful. You know what? I'm thinking that this guy is used to be a maybe a monk or something peaceful, and he's now went to the life of crime, perhaps. So maybe we see a tattoo of like a church or like a religion, like a religious tattoo. So let's just say it's cross. It's just generally a cross. It's kind of like it's a cross, but it maybe has something around it. Not like the hospital one with the snake, or I think it's a snake wrapped around the cross, but just some kind of text or just some kind of from the distance. It's hard to tell, but we recognize the cross on his back. So uh, this thief used to be a maybe just a priest or a religious figure of sorts. So a religious person. Maybe we used to when we were kids. Maybe we used to go to church, and he was another churchgoer, and he had a cross. Maybe his family had a cross on their neck or something, and now we see him mugging two noblest or two a wealthy couple caught in the net. So I think this stops our character from well stick like not killing him per se, or not killing him, but like surprise attacking him, like surprising him from behind and like pushing him down or threatening him. I think we're going to talk to him because perhaps we know. Obviously, we know this person. We rolled at a very nearly impossible yes that we know this guy from our childhood. So I know this guy from our childhood. Maybe he was an old friend of ours. I want to say he was a friend. He was a childhood friend, and I'm going to shout really loud while I put my dagger away. So I shout out, trying to remember his name. His name. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna roll if I remember his name. So this will be a 2d6. This will be based on the rules. This is just a straight out of like our knowledge roll, which this will be charisma, wisdom, and intelligence. I have 0, so this is just a general roll. Let's see if we remember his name because this could make or break the conversation. 6. 6 is unfortunately a fail, and because of that, look, I'm looking at the rules here. Uh, things do not go well. That is troublesome. So maybe he doesn't remember us. but we were only rolling to know his name, and we don't. So I shout out, but not his name. I don't recall name. I yell, tell him to stop. Does he turn around? Like, does he bother? So we shout, and he turns. I'm gonna say he turns around because we failed the roll. He just brushes us off. Like he does. Well, we have to ask if he recognizes us. So he turns to us, but let's roll to see does he recognize us? But it's been years later. I think that the tattoo was what gave it away to us, but maybe he doesn't recognize us generally as a person. Um, all in all, I think what we recognize is more the tattoo, not maybe we don't know him specifically, but we recognize the tattoo. That's how I'm kind of seeing this unfold now. Not the person per se. Maybe he is a part of a family we knew, but he turns around. Let's see what happens. He turns around and let's see how he reacts. This could make or break the conversation. 42. Environment helpful. Uh, we already rolled that from earlier. I want to kind of give a little variety here. 35. Let's try this. Distance. We're too far. He's nearsighted. We're too far for him to like. He turns around. He's like squinting, and he just kind of sees a blurry figure. He turns around, squints. He's nearsighted. I'm just putting some notes here as usual. If you guys see me typing now like this behind that fake little, sorry, the real DM screen, I'm just typing my notes away, which is pretty evident. He's nearsighted, so he squints. Now, does he recognize us? Like, does he see us or 50-50? I'm going to say squinting possibly. We're not really roll checking for him. 93. He doesn't really recognize us. He doesn't recognize us. He doesn't recognize me. I keep saying us. Doesn't recognize me. He goes, he says, "Oi, who's there?" Like that. And he shouts, "Who's there?" Oh, who's that? Like that. Who's that? Who's that? Shouts out loud. We slowly walk forward, like kind of doing this, we're kind of doing a peaceful approach. We have our weapon, our dagger. I'm just doing this, walking towards him. Now, do I recognize him? Like, is this? I think this is definitely someone we know from our past. We'll keep it at that. I'm going to just tell him that. Um, let's see, how should I word this? I don't want to be like, "Hey, remember me?" But we're like, "Listen, complete coincidence, but I believe you might remember me from church many years ago." Blah blah blah, like this specific church. So, calmly, I'm I'm telling him that I used to go to church with him and his family. I mentioned the cross, like I recognize your family crest. That was the word I'm thinking about, family crest. I ask, like, what happened to you? So I'm trying to be sympathetic in this manner. Let's see how he reacts to all that. With the billion of typos I have, as I type way too fast. I used to go to church with. Okay, so let's roll to see how he reacts to that. 93. Strange. So I have stop and strange. I think he's confused. He's not confused. He's perplexed. He's like, wait a minute. Like, wait a tick. Like, he's trying to remember if as I'm getting closer, I'm gonna write this down. I get closer to him. Maybe I'm like 20, 30 yards away. I'm not like up to his face, like, boy, like that. But like, I'm just kind of I'm probably within his nearsighted um, vision uh, scope. So let's see. I get closer to him, maybe 20 yards away. He's uh, maybe he's trying to remember me. Like he's just kind of doesn't really let's roll this. He doesn't remember me. Like after thinking about it for a moment, obviously it stops him. So I'm gonna say that 50-50 on this. Does he remember me? 23. He does. That's a good yes. So he finally remembers me. Maybe he remembers my voice or my hair color. He remembers me. Maybe the way I talk. Just like I talk. I don't know how does he remember us? Let's roll description. He remembers me for something dark side. So let's see description. What does he remember? Oh, I can't roll a zero. 24. Disagreeable. Well, control. Oh, let's re-roll. I might keep disagreeable. 79. Reassuring. Obstacle. So I think that he remembers my voice because we had a lot of arguments about church and religion, perhaps. So I think he remembers my me for my low voice, like when we were kids or teenagers, whenever we went to church with a family in our little village of like what 20, 30 people. Uh, recalls memories of recalls memories of like arguing about God or whichever God we praised back then. So like disagreeing, like who just basically just simple feuds. And I'm basically just nodding, like even if I don't know, I'm gonna like just try to agree so like just calm him down because he's obviously a little edgy. So I'm uh the reassuring one we rolled earlier does make sense now. I think I rolled reassuring. Yeah. Obstacle, I just rolled it. 77 actually. Did I bump that one or did I roll that? There's an obstacle. Yeah, reassuring. I'm reassuring him. Yeah, that makes sense now. I'm reassuring him that was me. I'm telling him, why are you why are you mugging these people? These people then. So maybe he wasn't the religious one. He was being forced to go to church. My character is just probably casually religious. Um, I'm thinking that he, but that doesn't matter. That's the past. What matters is the here and now. So I'm gonna say that he is. We asked him, why are you mugging these people? How does he react to that? Let's roll for. Let's just roll. See what happens. 3. Benefit and beautiful. Maybe it gives him a kick, like a jolt of energy to just see people desperate in need of help, or like that's kind of weird. But I'm thinking that's what I'm getting from benefit and beautiful. One of the beautiful part. It just it gives him a high. I know it's weird, but like I think it just he likes to see people in danger or like it's just really strange little. It's a strange quirk of his. But I think I'm more for the benefit. He needs the money. Maybe he needs the gold. He says he needs the gold. Um, maybe he talks about. He briefly mentions that his family needs the gold. Needs the gold. He keeps like jumping the story around like he can afford things and poverty, blah blah blah. The usual. Do we believe him? Possibly. He's trying to give us an excuse. So he's trying to reel us in with an excuse, perhaps. And I'm going to roll to see if we can tell if he's being deceitful or he's telling the truth. So let's roll 2d6. So this will be our. I think this will be not charisma, but intelligence or wisdom, which again is 0. It wouldn't matter. So let's see if we can tell if he's being truthful to us. 5, 6, 7. We can barely. That is going to be that, and I don't think that's a skill roll either. I'm a survivor in stealth. Nope, that's not. Well, survival. No, I'm gonna let that one slide. 7. Partial success. There's some cost compromise. Okay, we can tell. I can tell he isn't. Uh, he is just giving some excuses, but he is probably generally um, a thief. Like he is just generally a thief. But there has to be one compromise for us, and let's see what that compromise is. Because we rolled a 7 partial set, there has to be one setback. Nothing major. 61. So 61 is mysterious. Interesting. Increase. Mysterious and increase. Something mysterious happens, or something mysterious. Oh, you know what? Increase. Something. Oh, this will be interesting. It's just a totally random, but I think increase makes sense. I'm thinking of a quake, and that quake starts now. So while we're chit-chatting, we haven't had one in a while, and they have to happen about patterns. While we're chit-chatting, while I'm talking to him, um, the ground starts to shake, but it's not as severe as it was back in Bellhop. Because I roll mysterious, this shake it's more of a rumble, like a very low bass. We can hear a very low hum, like a low bass hum. The ground, it's just kind of like it feels like not on a boat, but it feels like you're just swaying left to right. There's just this really like a very deep treble or not treble, a bass, and the ground is just shaking. It's not a quake. It's not a quake per se. So, um, I don't think it's going to really affect anything for us. But it's more of a It's just more of a. Just kind of happens, and nothing significant really bad happens from it. It lasts probably. I'm going to say let's roll for like a d6. How many seconds does it? Let's roll actually a d100. How many seconds does it last? I'm thinking it's less than a minute. So 15 seconds. 15 seconds, and everyone's like, because I'm assuming that us, the thief, our friend, or our who we knew from our childhood, and this couple, we are all familiar with the quakes. I'm sure the quakes, and they're most likely familiar with the quakes because they're traveling south. If they are traveling south, we'll get to that in a second. But I'm guessing we all know about the quakes. So, but in the last 15 seconds, I'm going to say out loud, I expected that to be far worse. So the thief, how does he respond to? We don't have a name yet, but how does he react? 54. Loud. He starts. He's very loud. He thinks, well, oh, you know what? Maybe he panics. Is he loud? I'm actually curious if it's even him. I mean, we did roll to say if it was him. He's loud. But I also rolled goals. I'm gonna roll one more. 89. It's a setback. It's a setback for him. But he's loud. I think he's expecting another quake to happen, so he's panicking. And he knows that we're here and the net. So he's panicking because even that little shake, the net's starting to get loose. So I think he looks up at the branch, like the branch basically is just sticking out of the mountain, like it's more of a root, and he has that little net um, hanging off of it at the roots. Only he knows of it. Like he probably knows of an issue or a problem with his own trap. He looks up at the root, his trap, and he can see that it's about to rip. So the trap is ripping. Maybe because the couple, maybe they're like shaking, trying to get out, and we're chit chatting, and they're up there stuck, and I'm like, then I look up, and I'm like, oh, so I look up, the couple are like they're trying to shake and basically just trying to, they see the roots are weak, so they're trying to pull down, uh, trying to like pull down the trap because the root's probably very becoming very loose and it's become dislodged. So he's shouting. That's what that I guess that makes sense. He's shouting because that little rumble the ground caused, um, that little rumble the ground caused probably helped in loosening that root. So I smile because I'm gonna see it's about to fall. So I'm gonna step back. I'm not gonna. I don't think I can catch two people. I probably can try. Man, how high are they? Let's see how high they are. Like up and like up feet wise. 59. Let's see. 59 is going to be. mundane. So they're not very high up. Maybe they're like just a few feet off the ground. Um, I step back. The couple is only a few feet off the ground. So it's a pretty pathetic trap off the ground. Yep. Maybe he's still trying to threaten them, like trying to scare them, but they're not giving like they're not really budging at all. So he continues to threaten them, and we're maybe it's just not as bad as it seems. Threaten them, and um, what does he do after? Let's see what happens. We're not really. There's only not much we can do, anyways. I mean, we can tell him to stop. I'm gonna tell him. I tell him to back off. Basically, I'm gonna pull my dagger out. Maybe I tell him that you know, you had your chance to stop. You had your chance to let them free, even if you probably didn't. But I'm gonna roll to see how he reacts or what happens in general. We're rolling for the environment. 35. Full 35. So I have full and distant. Um, hmm. Full. I think the full one is probably more equivalent to this our questionnaire. 84. Player character rough. So we are being rough on him. Like we were conversing with him recently, and I think rough is probably. Oh, it's a rough. It's a fall. Okay, it's a full, just a full fall. The whole entire thing. The net falls down, so the net loosens. It falls, collapses, and the couple land on their tuchus. Um, Land on the ground. Maybe they're just rubbing their butt, like they're hurt a little bit, just a little bit. Land on their rears. Now, is an older couple? Let's roll 50-50. If it's an older couple or if it's a younger couple, isn't an older couple? I'm thinking it's more older. 57. Uh, no, but maybe middle-aged, 30s, 40s. So couple equals, let's say they're 40s, not old. So I'm gonna get closer to the I get closer to the thief, and I tell him, for old time's sake, back off, uh, back off if you know what's good for you. If you know what's good for you. Maybe how much? Hold on a second. How much gold do I have? 15 pieces. I'm starting to think like we weren't exactly the best of friends if we keep arguing. So maybe I'm not exactly a fan of this guy at this point. Back off if you know what's good for you. Does he back off? So I am actually kind of threatening him with my dagger. Let's see what happens. How does he react to this? While the couple is maybe standing up in a second. Frightening. So he's scared. So I think he is a low level puny thief like we used to be. So he gets frightened. He backs up. I'm thinking he's starting to step back. He backs up. And does he like you know does he run away? Let's see. Does he run away? Four. Oh, this will be a taunting measure. I totally forgot about that. Four is going to benefit beautiful. Yeah, I won't go with that. We need to see if this is actually effective. So he is frightened, but I forgot to do an actual roll. This will be more of an advantage, actually. Actually. So charisma. This be charisma, and it's survival. So six or less is a partial success automatically. +2. So we have to roll 2d6. 8, 10. So 10 in general is just a regular success. Full success. So we're able to taunt him and scare him off. So uh, I shout once more because I'm realizing that I didn't exactly like help this couple out. Like I didn't like come in there like, oops, sorry about that. Superman with and like attack him, cut the knife or cut the net. Try to fix my camera here. There we go. Fix my yep. I think that's better. I'm centered. Yeah. I didn't like cut the net, and save the day. I kind of we noticed, we knew this guy, so we're trying to first sympathize and chat with him, and then that sudden, convenient plot device happened, and that was the quake. Well, more of a rumble and loosened it. So things kind of played out like a domino effect. So we're in a very neutral spot right now. I shout once more. I tell him to get out of here. And we do it successfully with the roll. Yeah, I yell, get out of here. And he just scurries off. He just trips and falls and he just runs off. He runs off into the forest. Maybe he lives nearby. And the couple, are they standing up right now? Let's see how they are reacting right now. 20 conclude. They are done with this. They are happy. I'm not happy per se, but they are done with this. Maybe they were caught up there for some time. So the couple appear to be done with this whole situation. Whole situation. And how do they? Let's see. Now, do they? A couple ways this can go. They can be like, you knew that guy, or like, they heard everything, but do they thank us? I mean, we did delay the thief from rubbing them. We're giving them a foot massage for robbing them. Give me a toes, we'll rub them. No, no. We did kind of delay the robber, the thief, the mugger from mugging them. So I'm gonna roll once more to see. Do they thank us? 50-50 on this one. Maybe they're just a little egotistical. 41. They do thank us. They very quietly. They're like, so they're getting up. They're probably picking up the belongings. They're like, thanks. Like they're just kind of doing this. I don't know if they're British accent, but like, oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Or Australian apparently. So they stand up. They casually thank us. But this is one opportunity. They're not hating us right now. They're not mad at us. They're just very casual. I'm going to ask them some questions because this is an opportunity to see where they came from. I asked them, where did you two come from? Where did you come from? Up north? I say up north. That's me saying up north. Just a follow-up question. And let's see how they respond. All right. And then I rolled 32. 32 is going to be roll fragrant or grand and decrease. Decrease could be a metaphor. Like they are from north and their population has seen a decrease. So I'm going to say, we'll do one more roll. I think they are from the north. 76 NPCs, powerful. Okay, so they are obviously NPCs at this point, and it decreased. So they explain that they are indeed from they are from up north. Now, do we have a village up north? Have we ever come up with one? No. So I don't think there is a village or a town we ever described up north. Let's figure a name out for this. So let's go to our map, and I'm going to assume that we're right here. We're probably on the very edge or center north. I'm going to assume there's one more trail, and then there's a village right here. And so what we'll do is copy, I want to see more of a town. So we'll remove these two things here. And actually, I can just probably copy and hold a tile. And let's say it's actually at an angle right there. And the town is called, let's see, Terran Misfits Farm. What would be a good name for a town? I'm going to roll to see what would be a good name for the town. 94. Strange, stop. Strange. Strop. That could be a word. Stop. Range, stop range. Range. Stop range. Let's try rain. Like two ends. We'll just do that, rain. So the town of Rain, let's go back to our sheets here. There's my notes currently. So they are from a town up north. And oh yeah, I do have to add that to my location here. This location's mentioned. It's been mentioned. Town of Rain, two N's, and then mentioned. You guys don't have to see that because I'm just kind of adding it to my simple notes. Town up north, town of Rain. I'm going to ask them, is that the town that was ravaged, destroyed by the volcano? Like, I'm going to say that we saw a huge group of, your fellow travelers. We saw a huge group of travelers passing through bellhop, and let's see how they respond to that. Maybe it is, and maybe they are. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. 61. Um, so I rolled increase in mysterious. I'm gonna roll one more time. And let's see, 58. Harm. Yes, so yeah, it's causing them harm. Maybe they got into, maybe they've been caught in this net for a while. I'm gonna say that they have a lot of luggage. Or not a lot of luggage. They were one of the last ones to leave. So harm. And they got stuck and they had to find a way around the ash and it's hard to say. So they left, they were one of the last ones to leave, and they've been caught. They were trapped in this damn trap for, let's say, hours. Couldn't nobody, nobody came in, nobody came by to help, and then eventually a thief showed up. So, um, we asked them if I asked them if are they okay. I asked them if they are okay. Let's see how they react to that. Could be a stupid question, but you never know. So let's see, 91. Small. Eh, small. They have a small little couple small injuries. Maybe well, not small like no, like maybe they're like a very royal family. They're very egotistical. They're very high strung, but they feel really puny right now. Like they just kind of feel upset. Like they just they've been caught in a trap for. They feel like the life of luxury, but they've been trapped in a net. Like how would you feel basically? So they feel demonized. Maybe I don't know. I don't think that's the right word. Demonized. Maybe. Let's see. Let's just a quick little search here. Like definitions. Demonized, portrayed as wicked or threatening. Maybe not the best word. They feel weak. Yeah, there we go. Small, weak. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm trying too hard to think about it. They feel weak right now. I'm gonna say, well, glad you're okay. Do we have any rations we can give them? I don't have any rations. Shoot. Did I not carry that over from was it 2 rolls ago? What was it? Cairn, the Cairn system. Uh, oh, we still have that scroll too. Control plants. We could use that on the roots, but obviously it's too late. I'm gonna say we have. Oh yeah, Sparky. We can't forget about Sparky. Sparky's still with us. Don't worry. Maybe he barked a few times. She barked a few times. I'm gonna see if we have some rations. 3 days. I'm gonna go back to what we had before. We got the rations from the inn. Well, I'm still glad you're okay. Do you need some food, or do you need some rations? Maybe. Do they take the rations? Let's see. A little peasant like myself, do they take the rations? Let's see. 50-50. No, they don't. They're like, no need. We're fine. So 50-50. Yeah, that's like borderline exceptional no. So just a general no. Um, yeah, I think that's good. So they decline. They'll fend for themselves basically. They decline. They'll fend for themselves. But we still want to know. I tell them that I'm traveling up north, delivering something. That's all I say. Do they have any idea of what happens back there? Like, do they have any information? So, uh, I asked them for tips or guidance of what might have happened up there in relation. We know there's a volcano, so I should rephrase that. I asked them for tips or guidance related to what happened up north. Okay, let's roll. See what they say. 75. 75, NPC powerful, we know that, so we're going to re-roll. We can go up to powerful, that might be a good start. 7. I'm going to roll things in our roll before. Break, right. Oh, so powerful brightness. Something very powerful light. A powerful light. Stay in the sunlight. Oh, that's good. I like that. So they tell they tell me to stay in the sunlight. To just stay in the sunlight. I'm thinking that it might be a creature of sorts that um might be causing trouble in the darkness to just stay in the sunlight. I like that. So we're like, oh, interesting. And then they walk away. So they leave. They continue south, and we're watching them walk away. And then we turn our heads back to the trap. Now, I'm guessing they picked up their goods. Did they leave anything? Like, did they forget anything? I would say very unlikely. 68. Very unlikely. They didn't leave anything. Nope. So the trap is clean. It was just them and their stuff. So, all right. Well, yeah, that's it. Like, okay. So we freed them in a very odd way, and then we're going to continue up the path. So we take a deep breath and just continue walking. So I'm going to roll to see what happens next before we close out this episode. 39. Enemies! Oh my gosh! Oh, this is perfect. Enemies, heavy too. I landed on enemies and heavy. This is huge. So while I'm walking a little bit down, not there we go, typo. Walking down because we're kind of at the slope. I'm thinking we're at the very base of the slope and it goes back up. Walking back up north, another hill. We see I'm gonna say the sun is probably like afternoon, like late afternoon, so the sun's kind of like just behind the hill. We see a silhouette of several people. So I see a group of people at the top of the hill, and I stop. So I stop, and it has to be enemies. And now I'm gonna roll to see what we are encountering here. 59. Help mundane. Oh, this could be an interesting 50-50 twist. All right, so I stop and notice. Can I tell who they are? Let's like, is it just a shot like shadow? It's just or a silhouette. Let's do 50-50. Can I tell who they are? 83. I can't. So at first I can't tell. I notice the group shadow, basically the figures of people. So I just stop. They shout out to me because we rolled help. Is everything all right? Basically like that. Is everything all right? So one of the voices shouts, "Is everything all right?" And now do I reply? So I'm gonna do a d6. I'm gonna well, this won't be a really. I'm not lying. I'll just say I'm gonna have my hand on my dagger. So hand on dagger, and then it is enemy. So this is probably not the Kingsman 3. So I'm gonna have my hand on the dagger and say, "Yes, I'm fine." Who's asking? So I say, "Yes, I'm fine." Who's asking? Now, do they approach? Do they reveal themselves? Let's do 50-50. I'm really curious if they do. I'm gonna say likely. I'm gonna say they likely do. It's like an ending of an episode, be a plot twist. 18. Yep, they do. So they step closer to me. So they're probably like 30, 40 feet away, and they step closer to me. How big is this group of people? Let's see. We haven't really defined a number. Let's do a d6. Two d6s. How many people were they? Are they? Oh, two. Interesting. Okay, only two people, and I have an idea who they are. So it's not a big group. It is just two people. Two people. Maybe we thought it was more. So as they get closer, it was just some trees in the background. So two people appear closer. Now, do I recognize them? I'm gonna say nearly certain I do for some reason. Who are they? So I'm gonna roll. Ooh, interesting. Let's see, 91. What is 91 going to be? Start. At the start. So I'm changing I'm not using the Oracle for this one. At the start of this whole adventure, who would we encounter first? Dervish. So I see, right now, I see Dervish and the magician, Gruith, in front of me. And they look pissed. So yeah, so this is where we end. They just walk up, hands on their side. Maybe Dervish has his arms crossed like this, and Magician is kind of has his one hand on his side, and then he puts his arms like a bodyguard, kind of puts his hands in front, does this like Denzel Washington, kind of just does this, looks at me, and then now I'm facing Dervish and the Magician. So that's where we're gonna leave off. And I'd say that is exactly what I wanted to happen some time ago, after the tracer disappeared. So, how'd they get there so fast? Was it magic? Did the magician just guess? Have they been traveling ever since? Is this whole thing a sham? Till next time. This is huge. I wanted to do this for some time. I just didn't know when would be the best chance, but that was episode 18. Let's go to our usual and name this episode. I'd say What the Twist would be an interesting, but I'm going to say um, The Trapped, probably. An old friend. Let's say an old friend appears, because that might play well with the um, Dervish reappearing. So an old friend. We'll just keep it at that. Because an old friend has been more directed at Dervish, but I think when people watch this episode halfway through, like, oh, the title is talking about this old guy we're talking to, this childhood friend who's not really a friend, but no, it's Dervish. So there you go. That's episode 18, an old friend, or the old friend, or an old friends. I think an old friend works. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time on 830 RPG.